Hello everyone, my name is Aleena, and today I'm going to talk about the various benefits that I have been enjoying ever since I have become a freelancer. Okay, and I know this was something a lot of people actually asked me about, and they wanted to know my experience of how exactly do I get to travel so much, and how exactly am I always sounding and excited, and how do I get the privilege of traveling around the world and without hampering my job and my stuff. So this particular video is going to answer all those questions for you. Okay, and there are roughly 10 things that I have summed up and I've written them down, and I'm going to talk about them. I'm telling you, they are nothing less than privileges, and I'm so deeply grateful to God that I got the opportunity of actually quitting my job and entering into this field of freelancing and becoming self-employed. So anytime during the video, if you feel that you do not want to hear me out, it's okay, you can skip the video, but please subscribe to my channel because I am very thorough with making videos, and I love doing this particular job. It's like one of the best things in my life at present. Okay, so let's get started. Ever since I've started to be a freelancer, I'm always on my toes. There is this different feeling when you know if you will not work, you will not be paid. And you have to actually quit your job for once and experience it. No words can actually describe that feeling. So once you are self-employed, you have that energy, okay, and you just cannot screw it up. You have to be brilliant at what you do always. So this is certainly the best thing I have learned. The next thing that I would want to mention over here is that there is this great potential of learning so many new things when you step into this field, because you know why? You know that there is so much competition, you just cannot be obsolete. You have to keep updating yourself. Just the way these companies, they keep coming up with new products every now and then because they don't want to be outrun by their competitors. Similarly, when you're a freelancer, you have to keep updating your knowledge, you have to keep learning new things, and that has actually made me inculcate this habit of reading so much more. I read so much more nowadays, and I watch so much more, I observe so much more. I am always on a lookout for something new, and trust me, I am telling you all of this from my experience. And I think freelancing has been kind of a great blessing in my life. There is this new habit that I have recently learned, and that is of setting goals for myself. I had heard of it before and I knew that it works wonders for people, but until I actually started to do it, I never knew the power of it. So these days, what happens is that I have goals. Some are petty and some are big ones. The big one I will maybe talk about in some other video, but right now I will tell you about the power of these short-term goals that I practice. It can be just anything. It can be something to get up early in the morning. It can be something to make this much amount of money in a month, something like that. It has to be in numbers. So something that is right there in front of you, not something that is totally emotion driven. It has to be more of a practical thing, a more of a physical thing that you can actually feel the presence of. So that has started to happen with me. And setting the goals has really made me move forward. Where I was in this particular date in the last year, I am sure far ahead of that position today in 2018, and I'm very sure it's going to be even more wonderful in 2019. Another very interesting thing that I would want to point out over here is that there is this new habit of saving good amount of money. I am always very, very careful and concerned about where I spend, and I have to invest. So I have started investing into mutual funds. This is just the beginning. I am planning to start learning about shares and stocks also. Although I am a CA, I have a good idea about how these things work, but you know how theoretically and practically the things differ. So whatever my knowledge is more about theory. I am going to actually step into practical stuff. and I've already started learning those things. And I would say it's kind of really fun to check your mutual fund growing every single day. You're keeping an update of what's happening. It's really nice, and I think everybody should do that. In fact, I am going to make an absolutely new video on investment in mutual funds, and that is definitely one thing that I totally love today, and I've actually started to advise other people now about it. I have mentioned it to my friends, my father, and I have a proof that it makes you earn money. So we'll talk about it later. Another thing that is worth a mention is that ever since I've started to be into this field, I have actually realized the value of creating some real worth in somebody's life. So, when you're a freelancer, you just cannot afford to be mediocre. You have to be brilliant at whatever you do because, of course, no matter how good you are, you're always replaceable. And I'm sure you must have heard about this. So, you don't want to be replaced, and you will always try to learn new tricks of doing it, and learning about it and understanding the better ways of doing the same thing so that it becomes more cost and time effective. So this is it, and this is what is going on right now, and it has really made me improve and become really good at whatever I am doing, and there are so many things I'm doing right now. So when you're a freelancer, you tend to develop this habit of always looking the best you can, always carrying yourself in a very presentable manner. You try and dress up for the occasion, and you always want to look good. And that has developed a habit in me also to shop efficiently in a manner that I look smart. I don't have to overdo my makeup, I don't have to overdo my clothing and anything else. It's just that you have to be a little smart and you have to look classy. And as a freelancer, you just cannot afford to look dull or boring or insignificant or unattractive. And that is definitely one of the biggest perks of being a freelancer. Another good thing is that that's very personal to me. It might not be the case of all the freelancers on the globe. It gives you the opportunity of traveling a lot. You can be anywhere in the world and you can still make money. So there have been instances. I was in Indonesia, I was in Bhutan, and I was still doing my work. I was getting paid for it. And I don't think this kind of an opportunity you usually get when you are regularly employed. Not that I'm trying to demean those jobs. They are, of course, very important, and they run families. They are means of income to so many people, like crores and crores of people. I have nothing against it, absolutely nothing against it. It's just that I am telling you my experience of how I have benefited from being self-employed, so that maybe if somebody out there who is looking for answers like these gets it, and they can plan something ahead of them, something that can actually make them fulfill their dream of running their income from home. Okay. One last thing that I would want to mention over here is when you're a freelancer and you work from home or somewhere, some coffee shop or anywhere, there is this brilliant feeling of fear and excitement at the same time. Every single day you get up and you feel these emotions of a little scared and at the same time a lot excited. And that is what is going on with me from past 2 years, ever since I am into this. And I could not have been more grateful to God and my students and you guys who watch me daily and tolerate me on my channel. Thank you so much, guys. And this is CA Aleena Reis, and I will be back with a new video very, very soon. So bye and take care.